Ooh, good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We're getting started at 9:05 a.m. with the charts on the dot as usual. If you're new to the live stream, awesome. Welcome. If you're returning to the live stream, even better. Good to see you back on here. First half of the live stream, we're going to cover Bitcoin. We're going to cover altcoins, and we'll cover stocks or anything else that jumps out at us on the watch list. And on the second half of the live stream, we will cover your chart requests. So make sure to put in the ticker symbol. Make sure to put in, the name of the asset. Is it crypto? Is it stock? All the details so that we can search for it quickly and keep the live streaming. So with that, hope everyone had a good evening last night and having a good morning today. And we're going to jump into it. The markets are bouncing. They are bouncing. And so we're going to cover it all today. Bitcoin, bullish divergence. Bitcoin is bouncing, right? That's the title. So we have bullish divergence. You see the indicators picking up right here, bullish divergence. And so we mapped it out here that there's bullish divergence. Does it mean the entire trend is reversing with bullish divergence? No, it does not. No, it does not. But it does mean that we're probably going to see a bounce after that candle closed yesterday, that we're probably going to see a bounce, and today it's bouncing, right? So we'll see how high of a bounce it goes. Just like we were talking about it way back here when price was pushing down faster and faster and faster, that we expect bounces along the way. We expect a relief rally along the way. And 54 days later, price came back up and hit the exact same two retracement targets as it hit in March, April of 2022. So it hit the exact same targets and then started to reverse back down, as we know, and price came all the way back down. So currently bouncing right now. And of course, if we get a close back above this pivot point here, then we could have an even greater bounce. As of right now, from wick to wick, we've seen 21%, almost 20, not quite 21%, about 21% on this relief rally over here from wick to wick. It was about almost 22%, right? So we talked about this beforehand and said price could come back up and take out this wick here prior to going even lower. Like, we have targets. Of course, our main thesis was, hey, the 200-week moving average is at the SMA is 58,300 ish. It's a slow moving average, but it is a moving target, and that was our main thesis at the top. When we did that Wyckoff distribution on October 8th, when price was at 123,700, we put out the Wyckoff distribution. We didn't put out the Wyckoff distribution chart yesterday or the day before or last month or the month before that. We put it out on October 8th, right? Then on October 10th, we had the sell signal on the daily chart, and the weekly chart had bearish divergence, all of that, right? And so we put out the whole Bitcoin bear market roadmap. Well, the higher time frames are still bearish. So when the higher time frames are bearish, we still expect any bounces to get sold off. This bounce was sold off. This bounce sold off. This bounce, relief rally, was sold off. The higher time frames remain bearish. So any bounce, we are expecting it to get sold off on Bitcoin, right? So that's the daily chart. If we look over here on, where are we at? However the price action plays out, right? We put out these squiggly lines, not yesterday, not the day before. We put them out back almost 3 weeks ago. And so however the price action plays out, we expected the trending dots to catch up. the trading dots were at $84,000 at the time of drawing the squiggly lines, right? So $84,000. And now the trading dots are currently at 67,765. So price is back above the trending dots as of right now. And that was actually part of the squiggly lines, is that in the thesis of the price action, right? Price could bounce back up, take out this wick area, like this is just showing kind of like closes, right? Take out this wick area, which we talked about on every single live stream. So it is possible we take out that first prior to coming all the way back down here, right? So, and why do we still think this? Why do we still think the bottom is not in? Well, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. The weekly chart is still bearish. The 2-week chart is still bearish. The 3-week chart is still bearish. And the monthly chart is still bearish. It's going to take time for momentum to turn around. Momentum just doesn't shift instantly on higher time frames. On lower time frames, absolutely. Absolutely. So we would not be surprised if we see price wick above the 72,000 wick here, or whatever it is, the 72,200-ish wick above that, and then reverse back around. The timing of it all, of coming down here, we don't have a magic crystal ball. We never did. We never will. But any bounce that we see, we are expecting it to get sold off, right? So until it's a downtrend until proven otherwise. So with that, just quick 10 minutes, 5 minutes of going over the quick recap of Bitcoin and the bullish divergence that we just talked about. You can see it's pulling it up. But first, we don't have any, we've never taken $1 of affiliate money ever. So we just quickly plug our own website, Market Sniper Pro. So do that real quick. And then we come in, just kind of show you the tools and stuff like that. But you can find it from our website over here. Come to the website. It's got plenty of plans and stuff. Actually, we're probably not going to spend too much time on it today. But we have a whole back-end portal. So you got the charting system. We still use TradingView as a bridge. We still use Discord as a bridge. But we have our own online community, all for $49 a month. And you can find all the features over here. So we talk about it every day, so we don't need to spend a ton of time on it. But we have the dashboard, we have setups, we have bot suite, 100% fully automated trading, 70 plus hours of recorded coaching, and our own online community. But like I said, we're still using Discord and TradingView as a bridge, but we've built our own as well. So exciting stuff coming down the pipeline. We continue to build every single day tools that matter, right? Tools that matter. Tools that are going to help you be more successful as trader or investor. So, but with that, we're going to get into the weekly chart and keep going over here. So let's switch over the weekly chart so you can see what we're talking about. This weekly chart, Bitcoin roadmap is what I like to call it, is we put this out on October 10th. Like I said, we didn't just put this out the other day. And however the price action plays out, we expect it to be different. This fractal is from 2022 or the end of 2021 into 2022. So we use fractals as ideas. We don't use it as a magic crystal ball or that it's a matter of fact that's gonna play out exactly. But there are some similarities already, right? So you had the big first initial drop and price came all the way down to $80,000. Then there was a relief rally, letting the weekly trading dots catch up. And then there was another big drop. So on the fractal, you can see the big drop. You can see the relief rally and then another drop. So that's where we're at right now is the weekly chart came all the way down to 60,000 on the wick. Obviously, the fractal doesn't show wicks. But overall, it was already kind of ahead of schedule, timing wise, right? Compared to 2022. So it dropped first. It had a relief rally first, dropped again, and now it's kind of letting the trending dots catch up, and it's still ahead of the fractal, right? 3 out of 5 targets have been hit so far. The fourth target lines up with the 200-week SMA, and in 2022, Bitcoin also hit target 5, right? So also hit target 5. So we'll see if it does again or not. Also in 2022, we had bullish divergence. Just like we had bullish divergence on the daily chart, we had bullish divergence on the weekly chart. So everyone's talking about, well, how are you going to buy the right dip, blah, blah, blah. Well, we have our reasons and we have our strategy laid out. So we're not worried about buying the right dip. We bought the right dip at 16,800 on Bitcoin in January 4th, 2023. And we've got X receipts. We've got Discord receipts. We've got all the receipts that we need. We didn't just start doing this yesterday. We didn't just start calling the trends last month on Bitcoin, right? So everyone's talking about these fractals now. We put this out on October 10th, right? Up here, we were talking about this could be the last time you can sell your Bitcoin at $110,000 for a long time. So the weekly chart, still bearish, still ultra bearish, right? Still ultra bearish, getting a bounce today. So let's check in here. We're going to keep going. We've got the 2-week chart, 3-week chart, and monthly chart to still jump on here, but want to capture some of the questions in real time. Where's my face _IG? That daily bullish divergence is no bueno for puts right now. Yep. So a lot of people like to short. No one likes to short up here, right? Everyone wants to short down here. If you go back to like the daily chart, I'm more confident at shorting up here. I'm more confident at shorting the bounce over here. I'm more confident at shorting the bounce over here. If I'm shorting over here, I wouldn't be shorting over here, right? I'm a lot less confident to short over here than I am over here. There was a nice bounce. Then price was breaking down from that upward trend line. We had a sell signal below the trailing dots, and the overall higher time frames are bearish, right? Just like I'm less confident at buying at the top. I was much more confident at buying Bitcoin with 5x leverage at 16,800 than I would ever be buying Bitcoin up here at the top. So, but it was the same as 2022. People were having a fear of missing out, and they start chasing. It's moving down, it's moving down, it's moving down, it's moving down, and they see everyone talking about their shorts now, and there's a ton of shorts, and then they start getting into short positions. I'm not saying this is you. I'm just saying in general, this is what I see on social media. And that's what happens is you start to see price push down very, very quickly, just like we talked about on the live stream, that at 81,000, we could see a long squeeze down to 66,000 very quickly due to leveraged longs getting liquidated, right? And in hindsight, that was true. But that's when everyone wants to start shorting. And that's when real profit taking is starting to happen. And then now it's consolidating. And then you'd want to just, obviously none of this is financial advice. Obviously, this is for education purposes only. Hopefully have a little bit of fun along the way. Have a little entertainment, talking to myself in the camera and all of you. So that's where we're at. Is it's bouncing. It's almost a 21% bounce so far. And now we're going to find out where if we see price take out that wick or not. There was bullish divergence here, but I'm not expecting, a 30-40% relief rally. Could it happen? Yeah, it's possible, but that's not what I'm expecting. I'm expecting any bounce that happens to get sold off. And that's just because of the higher time frames. So nice bounce today, 69, 70K, going to be interesting to see what price to do here. Still think it's just, yeah, for sure. There's higher leverage like 20x, 50x, 100x, probably late shorts piling in, stuff like that. Nifty earnings report today after closing, pumping the whole market. Yeah, it's all narratives. I stick to the charts, but there are narratives out there. But we'll take a look at all the charts today. We're going to look at the Magnificent Seven. We're going to look at stocks. We'll look at ETFs. We'll look at indices. We'll cover it all. We're just covering Bitcoin right now. Mighty Kirk, long-time market sniper in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Well, not long term, but market sniper in the house. I just feel like I've been seeing your name on X for a long time, but actual market sniper is in the house as well. Ronin, bull trap, most likely. Higher time frames are bearish. Yep. I know what you meant. Robbie, TN6688. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Looks like it's retesting training dots. Yep. Currently above it. If it closes above it, then it's a higher probability that I think we do wick higher than that 72,200-ish. But we'll see how the day closes today. Appreciate your TA, Bill Hill, -K2H, waiting for the right dip to buy. Yeah, I mean, I don't give financial advice. So honestly, you should learn to do the charts yourself and have your own strategy. But we will be here every step of the way. It's not. I disagree with that, though. The fear and greed crypto indicator is just because fear is at an all-time low or just because greed is at an all-time high doesn't mean that that's a bottom. It can give a sign that we are getting closer to bottoms or tops, but it's not in my opinion, it's not a good indicator for building a strategy around. We have it on our back end tools, but I just use it for general purposes, but it's not part of my strategy whatsoever because it can remain fearful at the lower fear ratings for much longer than what people think, and it can remain in greed status for much longer than what people think. So I wouldn't, just because fear is at say 10 or below, like I wouldn't be buying because of that, because it could stay below 10 for years. Same with greed. It could be at 95 or above or 90 or above, and I wouldn't be shorting it because of that, because it could stay in that status for longer than what people think. So me personally, but prediction 52 by end of February. Yeah. Well, I don't have a magic crystal ball. But there was reasons why it could have been by the end of February or beginning of March, whatever it is. But we expect fake outs along the way, break down, fake out back to the top, and then possible reversal back down, right? So come back up, hit the target, and then reverse back around. It came all the way back down and nearly hit the 200-week SMA, as we've been talking about since October. And in hindsight, that was accurate. So still, however it bounces, still expecting the bounce to get sold off because of the higher time frames. So there's going to be a lot of, we told you the bottoms are in, but the 2-week chart is still bearish. And I posted this earlier. Yeah. That's a long time, Jason. That's a long time to be long. Yeah, we'll take a look at it, but we'll circle back to it. We'll do the chart request on the second half of the live stream, as you know. But here's a similar setup. The red trending dots on the 2-week chart, right, comes back all the way down. Red trending dots. It's going to take time. It's going to take time, and we'll be there ready for it. So if it were to take another, until October, which would be a 1-year bear market like it has in the past, we don't know if it will repeat the same patterns again. But if it does, where it takes another year for momentum to turn around, and we see the momentum, however the price action plays out, it takes time for the momentum to turn around, right? And that would be the red trending dots. That's simulating the red trending dots on the 2-week chart. And so however the price action plays out during that time, would rely on the daily chart for that. But that would be the similar consolidating, letting the momentum flip around, and then we'll be ready to buy the right dip again. So that's, in my opinion right now, that's not it, right? Could it be? Yeah, it's a very, very small percentage though. So that's 2-week chart. If we look at it on the 3-week chart, very similar idea on the 3-week chart, so we don't need to spend too much time on it. But you can see I'm pointing out the red trending dots, The momentum is to the downside. It has been since the reversal in October. And then, of course, sell signals below the trending dots on the monthly chart, sell signal on the monthly chart there as well. So that's Bitcoin. If we look at HODL on the daily chart, bouncing, just the Bitcoin ETFs have created so many gaps. There's so many gaps. It's one big gap, right? There's a ton of gaps below. Some of the gaps have already been filled. There are gaps to the upside as well. So you got a newer gap, you got a newer gap, you got a tiny, these are small gaps. So we'll see, but let the trending dots catch up on the Bitcoin HODL ETFs and probably on the Bitcoin futures. So the market bosses, they're going to want, we've talked about this several times in the past, the market bosses will want everything to line up. So if Bitcoin exchanges, if prices are retesting the trending dots on the Bitcoin exchanges, they're going to want it on the Bitcoin ETFs and Bitcoin futures and everything else. So you can see that the trending dots on the Bitcoin ETFs are higher. They haven't been retested yet, right? So the exchanges have, but Bitcoin ETFs have not. Bitcoin futures, same thing. You got the trending dots at 70,500. The market bosses, think of it as like the casino, right? The casino wants the gamblers to keep gambling. Well, if everything looks off on card playing or craps table or or the slot machines aren't lining up, then that's not going to instill confidence of the gamblers. Same thing with traders. If Bitcoin exchange, Bitcoin ETFs, and Bitcoin futures are not all lining up on the charts, it's going to look off. And so, when there was a big gap down and the Bitcoin futures, we were talking about it way back here, did not look the same as when Binance dropped really fast, right? And I said it'll probably bounce because when the futures market opens back up, they're going to want everything lined up, right? In hindsight, that was accurate. So let the trending dots catch up. That's what we've been talking about. Retest the trending dots. That's what we've been talking about. Here we are. Bitcoin futures has not retested it yet. HODL has not retested it yet. A Bitcoin ETF. So there's a lot of overlap on it. And that's what you're going to want. If we look at Bitcoin versus gold, coming back in for a retest of the trailing dots makes sense as well. And gold and silver are still bullish, as we can see, but that's where we're at on, see, the monthly chart is still bearish. And what we've been talking about on Bitcoin versus gold is that you don't want to see a downward sloping 200-week moving average. That's not bullish. That's not bullish, right? So despite what people say that, it's the most bearish it's ever been on RSI. And RSI is at 34.8 as an example. Well, just because it's the lowest it's ever been doesn't mean that the bottom is in and then it's going to reverse. Could it? Sure. But it also could mean that it's the most bearish it's ever been, and price could be catching up and could go much lower, right? So that's why I don't dollar cost average in a bear market. That's just not my strategy. That's why I prefer to wait to buy the right dip. Not buy the dip, because the dip could keep dipping, but buy the right dip. And what that means is waiting for a higher probability reversal. It's all about higher probabilities. And that's, taking data from whether that's your indicator, options flow, or liquidity, or on chain, whatever, all the data points that you're looking at, right? They all work together. So it's taking all that together and then stringing together what are the highest probabilities, what is the momentum, what is the volume, what is all that going on, right? What's all happening with that? And then, of course, having your strategy laid out in advance and then execute the strategy to the best of your ability. And that's where a lot of people with the same exact strategy could struggle. So it's about perfecting all of that over time. It doesn't happen overnight. So what else? We'll take a quick look at altcoins. Of course, they're bouncing as well. But in the weekly chart, you can see it's still bearish on XRP as an example. But if you drop down the daily chart, there was also bullish divergence on the daily chart there. And so we're catching a bounce on XRP, currently back above the trailing dots. But based off of the higher time frames, we would expect these bounces to get sold off until proven otherwise, right? So when it's bullish momentum to the upside, it's buy the dip season. When it's bearish momentum to the downside on higher time frames, it's short the bounce season, or go to cash and make 3, 4, 5% and barely keep up with inflation. It's your choice, right? Or find a bull market anywhere else, right? You can always find another bull market in a different asset, right? Ethereum, exactly the same, right? Probably has, the indicator is not picking up, but there is bullish divergence here as well. So very similar across the board. Don't need to spend a ton of time on it. Chainlink, is that bullish divergence? Yeah, that's the indicator is not picking it up, but bullish divergence, pending buy signal above the trailing dots. This is a big move down on Bitcoin and these crypto assets, right? 50% drop. We expect bounces along the way, right? So a 50% drop in a short period of time from January, not even a month, less than a month, it dropped 50%. We expect bounces along the way, just like this was a bounce, just like this was a bounce. So bounces until proven otherwise. But when the higher time frames are bearish, and this is true whatever time frame you're on. If you're day trading the 5-minute chart, you'd want to be looking at the 15-minute chart, the 1-hour chart. You want to trade with the trend, in my opinion. I think you can counter trade, yes. And I do counter trade from time to time. But I typically trade with the trend. And if I'm on a really low time frame like day trading or scalping, you're looking at time frames that are, maybe 4 times higher, right? So if you're on the 15-minute chart, maybe you're looking at the hour. If you're on the 5-minute chart, maybe you're looking at the 30-minute chart, 15-minute chart, and an hour chart. And of course, you can still look at the daily chart and all that stuff, right? But trading with the trend is going to produce bigger moves. So when it was bullish to the upside, you can see the moves are much bigger, 60%. To the downside, you can see 50% versus counter trading 10 to 15%, right? So trading with the trend over a long periods of time, in my opinion, it would be more profitable. So chain link, pending buy signal, breaking news, but the weekly chart is bearish. It's below a downward sloping 200-week moving average, below the trading dots. So could you get a nice bounce? Sure, you could. 3-week chart, bearish. Trending dots are way up here at $16, right? Monthly chart is bearish. Cardano, similar thoughts. You get the trading dots way down here at 40 cents, right? Pending buy signal on the daily chart. So Cardano had slight bullish divergence. So like I said, we expect bounces along the way. And down here is when everyone wants to short, right? Down here is when everyone wants to short. And that's when you usually get caught off sides. So how high will the bounce be? We don't know as of yet, but we expect those bounces to get sold off. Algo, similar thoughts. H-bar, XLM. Had the buy signal, came back down for a retest of the trading dots, and now is bouncing higher. So is H-bar leading the way to a higher bounce? Possibly. XLM, similar thoughts. Near, similar thoughts. So all happening in real time. Let's switch gears over to MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy, again, we expect bounces along the way. But if you look at this Adam and Eve double top pattern that we had drawn out way back here, top was in. We were talking about the bearish engulfing candle. We talked about the Adam and Eve double top pattern. We had this fractal out here forever. 21, 22, 2023 fractal, still in line with it. Whether it plays out exactly or not, we do not expect that. But letting the trending dots catch up and waiting for the opportunity to buy the right dip. Have that patience to buy that right dip. Whether you're an investor on higher time frames or whether you're a swing trader on the daily chart or the 4-hour chart, or you're a day trader on 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, whatever it is. Maybe it's a 1-hour chart and you have a quick take profit percentage lined up, or you're a scalper on the 1-minute chart, right? And you're in and out of the markets. Whatever it is, patience for that, your strategy to line up and then execute it to the best of your ability and live with the results. Hopefully you've done a lot of back testing on your strategy and all of that before going live, then paper trading before going live, and then once it's dialed in, future results still don't equal past back testing results. Trust me on that one. I've back tested obsessively on trading bots. I've back tested obsessively on my own trades. So years of back testing. And what I can tell you is it still doesn't mean future results are going to equal past results. So you want to paper trade it for at least a month and then test it on a live account if everything is still checking out. And then you want to, start small. Don't go all in. So MicroStrategy still playing out in real time. What else? But it's catching a bounce on the daily chart, back above the trading dots. So bounces are incoming. NASDAQ has a pending buy signal. Hit one target, retested a second target. And of course, if we start seeing price close below target 1, then it's a higher probability that we see target 2. Same thing with target 2. If we start seeing candle closes below target 2, target 3 will be higher probabilities, and so on and so on. So, um, as of right now, the top is in at 26,420, and any bounces we would expect to be sold off. Even though the higher time frames remain bullish as of right now, there's longer term bearish divergence, and there are several reasons why we could see lower prices. SP 500, similar thoughts. Gold, we drew this fractal out. It's still buy the dip season until proven otherwise, whether that's creating a lower high at some point or creating bearish divergence. Why? Because the higher time frames are ultra bullish. They're ultra bullish. I said that back here when everyone was calling top on gold. And in hindsight, we went on to make a new all-time high in gold. This is this fractal from over here. Said it again over here when everyone was calling the top on gold. Said the top could be in this time, but it's too early to call it. The higher time frames are still ultra bullish, and we could at least see a lower high up here, which we're very close to it now, or a higher high, and price creates bearish divergence at the top and starts going through a topping pattern, right? So it could, if the top isn't in, it could start a topping pattern with longer term bearish divergence because the higher time frames are ultra bullish, and it'll probably take time for that to reverse, right? So it would probably take time, some chopping going. Like if we're gonna go through a topping pattern, it's most likely gonna take time for that to play out because of the higher time frames don't move quickly, right? So that's what we're watching on gold, silver, same thing, but a lot more volatile, right? So that's silver, dollar, still kind of doing what we talked about back here a couple weeks ago, January 2026, 2023, January 23rd, 2026. Drop, bounce, however the price action plays out. It's currently bullish, could come back for a retest of the trailing dots. And then I just didn't redraw it. I just kept the original squiggly lines out there. But if we do see continued consolidation, break out of this trend line, consolidate, and then possibly by April, we see a bigger move on the dollar. But we do have a downward sloping 200-week moving average, which is not bullish. So even if it bounces up, it may or may not come back for a retest on the 200-week SMA, and that hasn't been retested since April. So, and it could still be bearish long term. But what else? What else? Dow Jones, we'll cover all that. Let's see. We'll come back some of those requests. We'll go over to the Magnificent Seven and the indices, see who's bouncing, right? You got Netflix bounce. So Netflix has been crushed, right? And we were talking about the reversal on Netflix at the top. And here we are. We had a huge drop from wick to wick, 44%. That's a classic bear market drop. If you're looking at the Wall Street cheat sheet, that's a classic Wall Street cheat sheet bear market drop. The initial 40% followed by a relief rally that could take a month or two, followed by another large drop. So if you kind of zooming out here, could that happen? And we talked about this before it even broke down from this line over here, that it's possible we see a bounce with the head and shoulders. So from down here, it would make a lot of sense that we see this unfold and then come back down for a bigger move down. But if it's similar to like the Wall Street cheat sheet, it could take longer. Like the relief rally could take longer, right? So it may not just be, you know, could be the head and shoulders like that. And if you look at it from February, maybe it takes a couple of months to play out and then come back down and retest the 200-week SMA and then maybe the gap down here as well, right? So you got the gap. And sometimes what I'll do is just kind of like take this side of it and let's see, flip it. Yeah. Flip it. And it'd be a lower side. So do I think it plays out exactly like that? No, I definitely do not. But if you're talking about building out a head and shoulders, could see that relief rally that takes a couple of months to play out, similar to over here before making a move up. And if it did play out like that, then you could see a massive move down, right? You could see a massive move down. And I didn't plan this out, but that would actually come back down and fill that gap at $35. So, you know, my thoughts about patterns by themselves, I don't think it's enough. But if it's lining up with other reasons why it can come back down the 200-week SMA, why it can come back down to the gap, all that stuff, well, there you go. That's just another reason why it possibly could come back down to these lower levels. So, but as of right now, there's a pending buy signal. There was a 43% drop on Netflix, and probably going to see a relief rally. We're going to see a bounce here on Netflix, and the local bottom is in, but I don't think the bottom is in. If you look at the higher time frames, just clean some of this up. Weekly chart, it's bearish, right? Let the trending dots catch up. It's at $94. That's pretty close to where we had on the fractal, $98, right? Could wick higher. It's possible. If you look at the 2-week chart, 2-week chart is bearish. This whole entire run, look at this 2-week chart, closed below, when price went well below the 200-week moving average, right? And then went on a run. Look at the green trending dots. Look at the buy signals and went on a huge run up. And then we had a sell signal over here with the red trending dots. So it's in a bear market, but it doesn't mean we can't see a relief rally. And it's a classic Wall Street cheat sheet, 43% drop. Classic Wall Street cheat sheet. So how's everything going? Live stream. Is the live stream still live streaming? Yep. There we go. Just checking in. Sometimes I just get so wrapped up in the charts, we just keep plowing through it. But I didn't see any new comments, and looks good. So we're rocking and rolling now. Rocking and rolling now. Let's keep going. So, sell signal. It's in a bear market. 2-week chart, 3-week chart. Netflix, same thing. Red training dots, red training dots. This whole entire bull run was green training dots, right? Monthly chart, sell signal, very similar to Bitcoin, where you had the candle close below the training dots, sell signal. Now you're in month 2. Sell signal below the training dots, month 2, right? So it's going to take time for everything to turn around. Just like it did down here in 2022, it took time for the momentum to reverse back around and then go on a major bull run, right? Obviously, this is too lagging for me, too high of a time frame for me to make trading decisions on, but I like to look at it for overall trends. So expect whatever bounce this is, whatever relief rally it is, I'm expecting the bounce to get sold off until proven otherwise. SMCI went through that bear market, right? Went through that bear market. The initial 40% drop or whatever it was the initial 45% drop within 1 to 2%. That looks almost identical to what we just drew out. Let's do that. This is the daily chart. Right? Bum, 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 bum. And then copy it, right? And then go to Netflix. And then where we at? And then paste. That's very, I mean, it's not identical, but this is very similar, right? So if it were to play out similar to SMCI, it would be that relief rally. And that's probably actually closer than just doing the Netflix, right? And that would actually line up closer to this gap. And that would take you below the 200 SMA. And, you know, of course, if that's the head and shoulders play, right? You got the left shoulder, you got the right shoulder, the relief rally, you got the huge monster head. And then how would you know? Well, Jesse, that's great, but how would you know? Well, if it starts breaking down from the trend lines, right? And then you have like the more aggressive ones, right? Maybe there's bearish divergence over here. And then maybe there's a lower high. And that's how you know. That's how you kind of build it out. So right now there's a pending buy signal on Netflix after nearly a 44% drop, just like SMCI had a 45% drop, just like the Wall Street cheat sheet. Like if you look at that image, you know, you have that initial 40% drop followed by a relief rally that could last a couple of months, followed by the next big drop down. So that's what we're watching on Netflix. Yeah, SMCI, PLTR. We're not just a hindsight crew. We are the foresight crew. We're looking at things in real time. We're speculating in real time. We are the foresight. Foresight is greater than hindsight. And we'll continue to sniper these markets together, right? PLTR, someone asked about PLTR. Same thing happened. We talked about the bearish divergence, lower high. What's the initial drop so far? 40%, 39%. My comments keep deleting on YouTube. I joined a few days ago. Yeah, you know what? Even my own comments on YouTube, because I'm simultaneously live streaming to YouTube and X, and my good morning what keeps getting flagged as spam. I'm running the live stream. I'm saying good morning, and YouTube is flagging my own good morning as spam. And I only do it once per stream. It's unbelievable. So, you know, I guess I have to change it up from good morning to GM to good morning snipers to good morning whales to good morning market snipers, whatever it is, right? Good morning, people. Good morning. I guess I have to change it up, but you're not the only one, my man. You're not the only one. We're all in it together. 39% drop. Is the relief rally coming on PLTR? Right? 39% drop. Or are we going to see higher prices? Let's look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart is bearish. Weekly chart is bearish. And we are so far extended away from the 200-week SMA. You got to think of it as like a rubber band. You're stretching it price out so far to the upside that when you release the rubber band, it snaps back and crushes your hand, or comes back and crushes the 200-week SMA, right? So the weekly chart is bearish. 2-week chart is bearish, below the trailing dots. Probably going to start seeing some red trailing dots, which you haven't seen. I hit the mic. Oh, good. Which you haven't seen since November 2021, when it went into a bear market. And then it went into a massive bull run and outperformed Bitcoin and outperformed Ethereum and outperformed a lot of different assets, nearly 2,000% on that run up, right? bull trend the whole way. Never closed below the trending dots until we got a candle close below the trending dots. The bull run is over. Could it bounce and get a relief rally right now? Yes, it could. Yes, it could. Expect bounces along the way. But the bull run is over. So it's all right. Well, you can't look back. You just gotta move forward. But thank you for saying that. Thank you so much for the free education. Yep. Sincerely appreciate everything. Yep. Struggling newbie. Yep. But if you want to be serious about investing and trading, and this is not just a plug, you'd want to take a deep dive, right? If you're truly investing real money, you'd want to take a deep dive, whether that's investing long term, swing trading, like what I mostly do. I do day trading and scalping, but I mostly swing trade larger accounts. And whatever you're going to specialize in, you're going to want to take a deeper dive. You're going to want to have your strategy laid out. You're going to want to have the best tools, all that stuff. For swing trading and overall market psychology and stuff, we have over 70 plus hours of recorded coaching that I recorded back in 2022, still valid today, right? You can get a lot of good information off of it. Probably you can apply it to lower time frames as well. But yeah, you probably want to take a deep dive and get all the right tools and stuff like that. So PLTR, initial 39% drop down, currently bouncing right now. Nailed that target. I believe that's target 3. I was lazy. I took off a couple of the targets, and target 4 is down here still, but 3 out of 4 targets have been hit so far. 200-week estimate down here at $55. So that's where we're at. TQQQQQQQQ dropped so far 25%, 23.5%, but currently bouncing right now. Could put in a lower high. Expecting a lower high right now. First, because you had multiple closes below, you had a sell signal, and now the trending dots are red now. So even though this buy signal is below the red trending dots, just as if you wouldn't pay as much attention to this sell signal above the trending dots because the overall trend, right? So you got the sell signal and price came back. Could this time be different? Sure. But it's possible we see it bounce back up to the trending dots or not even quite all the way there, and then possibly reverse all the way back down. But it's hard to kill a bull. It's hard to kill a bull. And these bulls are holding on. So UNH, not so much. Not so much on UNH. And if we look at it, that's a massive drop. This drop here was 62%. Why? Because it's in a bear market. It's in a bear market. And we pointed this out, actually. Very similar to 2008 for UNH. It looks very similar. So you had that initial drop, 30%. So not as much as the other ones that I just pointed out. Then it had a big relief rally bounce, 38%. And then just annihilated, right? And that happened basically overnight. So they gapped it down, and then there was a sell signal. So there was that buy signal. They push it up, push it up, push it up. Price is getting overbought. And after it's overbought, it closes at the higher point. Everyone's thinking it's going higher. We're going to go back and make new all-time highs. And then the market bosses gap it down on us, right? So, and then next thing you know, it's down 62%. And the weekly, even if you go to the monthly chart, it looks very similar to 2008. So is that telling us something more about the market overall? Possibly. Is it a one-off? Maybe. but there's starting to be more and more assets that are rolling over like this, right? So you have the monthly chart, and the 200-week SMA is continuing to drop lower. It's bearish. That hasn't happened since 2008. And then it started to flip back bullish, but it took time. It took time. Took what, a couple of years? So the sell signal underneath, by the time it started to flip back around, 24 months, and by the time price got back up over the 200-week moving average, 3 years, right? So from this sell signal, let's say maybe it takes till 2027, right? Maybe it takes till 2028 for price to get back above the 200-week SMA. I mean, a lot of people would be surprised about that, right? So it's possible. It's possible. NVIDIA, everyone's talking about NVIDIA. Ultra bullish on the monthly chart, still is a top in. Maybe we did talk about this miniature gap up here at 205. Seems like it's getting closer and closer. Weekly chart is still bullish. Looks a little bit different. It's been consolidating. There is bearish divergence. So a lower high is the higher probability that a reversal is in. Right now we have the bearish divergence. It's possible there's additional bearish divergence, but the lower high is the higher probability. So it looks a little bit different than PLTR, Netflix, and UNH. And then, of course, the daily chart had that buy signal already. Oh, let me put that back. Actually, we don't even need that. It's just showing that the consolidation. But even down here, we were talking about, hey, there is a miniature gap up here that it could come back up, could do a double top, could be a triple top for all we know. We don't, like I said, we don't have a magic crystal ball, but there is that miniature gap up there. And I'm not trading NVIDIA on these higher time frames right now because, like I said, you would get chopped up. This is so much chop, right? On the daily chart. I prefer, things that are trending with momentum, right? Momentum trading. So, but if it's going sideways for 6 months or 4 months, whatever it is, it's a lot more difficult. So, but with that, that's NVIDIA. It's bullish on the daily chart, currently bullish on the weekly chart, but there are bearish signs like the bearish divergence and stuff. So monthly chart is ultra bullish. So it's kind of a, one would say it's still buy the dip season until proven otherwise, but I'd be very cautious about buying up at these levels. And it's already so far extended away from the 200-week moving average, right? So we'll see. We'll see. It's possible right before earnings. It's pushing up right before earnings, very similar to UNH. And then it gaps down, right? Gaps down. So would not be surprising whatsoever. Microsoft's in a bear market. Microsoft has dropped 31% so far. Most definitions are a prolonged period of time, like 6 months, or 20% of decline over a period of time, right? So 20% and or 6 months, however you want to look at it, but by any definition, it's in a bear market. So, but it's a larger cap. Could we see a bounce? Yes. Is it currently bouncing back to the trailing dots? Yes. Could it hit the 200-week moving average first? Yes. Could it bounce this high like it shows on the chart after the 200-week moving average? Yes. Those are all possibilities. Why? Because we've seen other assets do those similar things. But again, we don't know for sure. And of course, we had this gap down here. It was a big gap for Microsoft. And not only that, we hit all 4 targets to the downside. We hit that gap and we almost tagged the 200-week SMA. So there we are. Meta, still bearish on the daily chart. This looks like what we just talked about on the other Netflix and stuff, where there's a 26% drop, and this fractal looks similar. And now is it breaking down, right? Maybe. Tesla, still a lot of reasons why we could see lower prices. Came back into the trading dots. QQQQ, QQQQQQ. Could be putting in a lower high. Excuse me. Could be putting in a lower high, and that lower high would be a higher probability that price is going to go much lower. NASDAQ futures, similar thoughts. Nothing has changed there. Weekly chart is still currently bullish, but below the trending dots. So it's going through a topping pattern, it looks like, and we'll see how it plays out. Apple, there's always a possibility of a double top. It did have a big correction so far. It was getting oversold on the daily chart, as you can see. 15% doesn't sound like a lot, but for Apple, that's a lot. So any lower highs could be sold off, right? Could be sold off. Oh, nice. Nice. The first 10 coaching videos really lay the foundation and are more technical. And then, of course, they're all live trades that we recorded with live coaching crew. And they ask too many good questions, right? The live coaching crew asked way too many good questions. And so it's not scripted. Like, I had outlines for the first 8 to 10. And then everything else is just based off of my knowledge, right? So I didn't have any of those recorded coaching videos scripted whatsoever. I just had a basic outline that I was teaching them in real time. And they asked too many good questions. My gosh. That's what happens when you trying to teach smart people. They have so many good questions. So, but it made me better. It made me better. So I love it. But at the end, I told them I had to stop doing live coaching because I was only charging them $199 each. And I put in 70 plus hours in 2 months. And I'm like, either I have to charge you $10,000 for my time, or I'm going to just end live coaching, because I put 2-3 hours in on some of those live streams, those live coaching. And my goodness, it was just too much. It was too much. So just tune in a moment. By the way, so that's Apple. A&F. It's already been in a bear market, but what a massive relief rally, dead cat bounce, whatever you want to call it, from the May 2024 all-time highs, came all the way down. We missed it though. It was a gap and go, right? Bearish, gap and go. I didn't want to chase it. Overbought, bearish engulfing candle, gap and go. They got twice. They didn't let us play. Twice they didn't let us play with A&F. Oh, we had it mapped. And it was all mapped. Look, this is all mapped in advance. And they gapped and go. They did a gap and go both times, and we didn't get to play either one because I don't want to chase. So just let it go, Jesse. No, we're not going to let it go. They did a gap and go, and I'm not going to let it go. That was an amazing move. But just catch the next one. But let me just throw on some music for a second, catch my breath. for sure. And there's always a next opportunity. Like you could look at the screeners and you could find new opportunities every single day, whether you're day trading, scalping, swing trading. Yep, for sure. Someone had me chart MSTX, I think on accident yesterday, and it's been beat up pretty bad. There is bullish divergence. So there is bullish divergence. It's a 2x long on MicroStrategy. So I would consider this extremely high risk, but we are calculated risk takers. 18% today. So if it was a 9% move, multiply that by 2 with the 2x long. But, I wouldn't hold it for long, right? So bounce, drop. But there is bullish divergence, and it's been beat up very badly. Let's see. 97% since July. 97% drop. So could there be a dead cat bounce? Sure, there could be. But just know that the weekly chart is bearish, and maybe that dead cat bounce to the trending dots at $5.41 is enough, right, for you to make a bounce play. But I mean, I guess it's 122% to the trending dots alone. But I remain ultra cautious because the higher time frames are just so bearish right now that any bounce would be expected to be sold off, in my opinion. So there you go. Bearish on all. Even the daily chart remains bearish, but there is that bullish divergence. I could probably draw this better, but from here to here, bullish divergence, and then this could be a higher low. So if that's a higher low, if so, that's a higher probability. But again, I would expect any bounces to get sold off. The trending dots are up there around $5 too. So it literally could just be some sort of, and get rejected. So with that, caution. Let's start doing the chart requests, get them knocked out. We're already at a little over an hour. Try to keep the live streams about an hour. Sometimes we run over, sometimes we go really long. When things are really happening, we'll do 2 or 3 hours. We've been known to do it, but otherwise we try to keep it around an hour. Mondo. Assuming that's crypto. Yeah, it just looks like the other altcoins that we've already covered. So they all start looking the same, in my opinion. So there's no need to spend a lot of time on it. But price is back above the trailing dots and probably going to have a buy signal in the near future. But just know that the weekly chart is bearish, ultra bearish. So any bounces I would expect to be sold off. Um, could the bottom be in? Sure, could be, but the overall trend is down. And there's not even a lot of chart history. So I can't even add too much more value than that. What else? PLTR, Jason? Yeah, we covered it. Do you have any follow-up questions? Yeah, we covered it. So just let me know if you have any. Yeah, it looks like it's gone through a topping pattern and it's 30% off the top. 39. Yeah, pretty sure it's 39%. What else? Yep, covered it. Ivan T. Covered it. Nice. Win Diesel, longtime market sniper in the house. What's up? 1,000 per month from USD interest on Coinbase. Should I even do the math on that? Congratulations. Congratulations, but that's super risky talking about how much money you have on an exchange on a public forum. It's like it puts a target on your back. Yeah, I personally don't do that, but hopefully you're really cautious about it because talking about making 12,000 a year interest when the interest is what 3.5. It was at 5%, then it dropped to 4%, so maybe 3.5%, and you're making 12,000 annually. Kind of puts a target on your back. So just be careful. But yeah, congratulations. If it lasts another 8 months, right? You could buy that much more Bitcoin. 8,000, and if the Bitcoin were to drop, let's say to $40,000, it's possible. Then you could buy with that interest. You could buy what 0.2 Bitcoin just from doing that, plus selling at the top, whatever. But yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you got to be careful, my man. There's people out there that will target us. So that's why everyone's like, oh, show your short, show this, show the exchange, show your P&L and all that stuff. I used to do that, but then I've even been threatened before. So, it's not like I'm a huge public figure, but 75,000 followers almost, 74,600. I don't want to be targeted. So I know, man. So just be careful, buddy. Just be careful. Don't click on any phishing scams. We got to watch out for each other. So, but congratulations to you, my guy. My guy. So that's Ondo. Am I seeing any other requests? Did I miss anything else while we're waiting? I think that's about it. We're pretty much covered it all. Bitcoin, no pending buy signal yet, but could have a pending buy signal in the near future. However, the price action plays out on the timing wise. Like, say if it comes up and wicks above here at 72,000, we'll be ready for it. That, say it's possible it starts reversing back down, right? There are a lot of reasons why price could come back down. Oh, could come back down into this area. And of course, the 200-week moving average as well. So that's where we're at on Bitcoin. With that, hope everyone is doing well. Like my man Win Diesel and everybody else, we will continue to sniper the markets together every single day that the stock market is open. We'll be live streaming as long as we're permitting. We're not sick or we're not on vacation or something like that. We plan to sniper the markets every day the stock market is open. So with that, thank you for all of your support. I appreciate all of you. Smash a like, share with your friends and family. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good evening, and we'll see you on the next live stream. Adios.